Hey, Hayden.
How you doing?
How are we?
Not too bad.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool.
Can you hear me?
Cool. Yeah, I can hear you as well. No, we're good. So just letting you know we're already live.
Okay.
Um, just give me a minute to edit the description like I always have to because it never wants to carry it over. Technology could be your best friend or your worst. So have you got any trolls for me tonight, or am I going to be free of those? All right, so we've got a couple of people joining in. That's cool. Hey Morgan, hey Keith, and I can't see who else there is because you haven't commented. Just make sure we're all set up and good to go. Awesome. That's changed itself. Cool. Well, first thing I want to do is show you something that I realized that I had to fight you to pretty much get you to do.
The, the signature.
Yeah, I remember having
Um,
to
it was,
like convince you so hard to sign that.
it was like being a ref. I don't get asked to sign stuff. Like I'm not the famous person. It's the wrestlers. So, and
Exactly.
I actually kind of had no idea because I don't have a signature as a ref. So I kind of had
You,
to think on the fly. So, but
yeah,
you'll be glad
nah,
to know.
I just done it because you were continuously trolling me weeks up to the Southern Rumble, so I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. I don't care.
Hey, I was saying. I might be there.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, we've got a few people in here now, so we'll kick this off. Hang on, who said hello? We'll say hi back. We'll be polite if it loads them up. So we got hey David, hey Morgan, hey Brendan, and hey Keith. Thanks for jumping in. So what have you been up to during isolation to keep yourself busy? I know you mentioned you
Uh,
were still working, but
yeah. Pretty much just work and home. That's about me at the moment. So yeah, because I work as a intellectual disability support person, support worker.
okay.
So yeah, been really busy.
And for
Pretty
those that don't
much.
really know what that is, can you kind of like explain that in a dumbed down version?
Um, I work for ID Services or IHC, and we have residential homes for adults with intellectual disabilities like Down syndrome, autism, and stuff like that. And we support them in their daily lives. Just to live and um, stuff like that. So yeah, it
That's
can be full
awesome.
on.
I could imagine. I could
Yeah,
imagine. I done after school care and we had one autism kid. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously I don't never got it to the extent that you'd probably get it. Um, but yeah, even that's a struggle in its own, having to be there for an hour with that kid.
Yeah, yeah, and we're just there
But
for
you've
their
got to also
basic.
understand it from their point of view as well. It's not their fault. Um,
Exactly.
you've got to find ways of balancing. I mean, I don't want to use normal as the word, but I'm struggling to think of another word. Balance him with the other kids, maybe, um, and his
We
needs
call it
compared to their needs.
yeah, yeah. I call it neurotypical. So another
Okay.
big word, but someone
Yep.
that is typically, neurologically, so or societal normal. So yeah,
Okay.
um,
That's awesome.
yeah,
We're learning things, guys. Science. Big words.
yeah.
Besides doing the whole looking after these people, have you been doing anything else?
I've been doing. So I'm also a ambulance officer, volunteer.
Jeez, you're
So
full on.
I've been on standby for that. Thankfully, I haven't been need to be used, um,
Yeah.
which means managing okay. But I've also sort of just been keeping an eye on that and stuff. So yeah, and sleep somewhere in between.
Yeah. I could imagine. Who's your favorite New Zealand wrestler, male and or female? Obviously, this is a bit of a hard question for you because you work with a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah, it makes it hard because I could be a bit biased. And I guess like the ones that always stick to mind, and they're not in New Zealand now, but
Yep,
that's JK and Khan.
yep.
And
And I think for
yeah,
a lot
coming
of
from
SPW people, that is going to be their go-to.
yeah, I guess like I know them outside of the ring as well, but inside of the ring, just really fun to sort of be in there with and that
Yeah,
and yeah.
no, that's cool.
Um,
What about female? Any female wrestlers? I know SPW kind of lacks in them. Kind of New Zealand
yeah,
wrestling in general
true.
lacks with women wrestlers, but anyone that comes to mind?
Um, I guess the only ones, and like I mean, I've worked with Ashley Spencer,
Yep,
and nice, and Candy Lee. I haven't worked with her, but I've watched some of her stuff, and yeah,
yep. Did
pretty cool.
you would have refereed the match between Ashley and B, right?
Yeah, yeah, at Southern Rumble 2017.
Is that the only women's match in SPW?
No, we had Indy Hartwell versus
Sure.
Kellyanne.
What am I doing? I was there.
You were. That's the one
Duh.
where I was told. Yeah.
Well, other than those two, they're the only
Um,
ones, right?
yeah, the one. I think there was one like right when SPW first started, but I can't remember who was in it.
Yeah.
I think it might have been as well, but yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And
So,
what about overseas? Any favorite male or female wrestler or both? And you can't use Kane Khan
like
and JK Moody because you already used them.
well, they're overseas. Once again, but guys that I work with like Will Ospreay,
Okay.
and uh, Travis Banks and TK Cooper, all amazing to work with.
Yeah.
WWE wise, probably Edge,
Yeah.
um, and
So you would have been
Dolph Ziggler.
bouncing off the walls when he came back at the Rumble?
Oh yes, yeah, massive pop.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
was
And what about female? Any female?
um,
As we try to keep things diverse here.
yeah, probably Alexa Bliss. No particular reason. I do like a style. And Charlotte Flair.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
I presume this is Waiheke because Waiheke is the only one that has a lot of knowledge about wrestling and SPW on this page, besides you, I'd presume. He said Brittany versus Mary Kate on March 17th, 2016.
that's it. Yeah,
And I'm actually going
I
to
could have
double
leaned.
check that that was him because if it wasn't him, I'm going to be impressed with whoever said it. Yeah, it was him.
I was going to say over and grab sitting over there, but yeah.
um, is there any overseas companies that you kind of keep up with besides obviously like WWE?
Um, not sort of regularly. Like I mean, yeah, the bigger ones I watch a bit of WWE, AEW, New Japan. But it's kind of just whatever I can sort of find.
Yeah,
I guess like I love wrestling, but I also tend to sit and watch the rest sometimes as well,
yeah.
to see what they're up to.
Oh,
Yeah,
exactly. And with what you've described it already as your busy schedule, it'd be kind of hard to
yeah,
regularly watch wrestling.
yeah. Trying to fit in. So it's generally I'll just pick out a couple of matches, something that tickles my fancy, um, and watching stuff through the SPW on demand, because obviously we've got Smash
Go
and
on, give
Pro
that the
Wrestling.
massive plug. How do we watch SPW on demand?
Well, we've got other stuff on there as well, like the progress
How do we
stuff,
watch it?
Smash.
How do we watch it?
Oh, so SPW on demand is available on the App Store or Google Play. Download the app and you can stream through there. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's $5 a month.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I know when I was watching it, there was also MCW stuff on there as well, and there's quite cool matches on
yeah,
there from
yeah,
MCW especially.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously all your guys' stuff as well. It was quite interesting to watch because obviously being up in Auckland, I don't really watch any of it.
Yeah,
A bit hard to go down on the weekend to go watch the show.
bit of a hike, eh?
Yeah. So I know you're a referee, but if SPW said, "Hey, look, we're short on wrestlers. We need someone to fill in," what would your wrestling name be, and what would your gimmick be? I love that face change.
Um, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Number one, because I'm just rather unfit to be a wrestler.
Yep, you and me
um,
both.
and, and I'm not so great with pain, so yeah, that's why it's good to be a ref. But I don't know. Anything that springs to mind, and of course, living the ref life is probably something like the enforcer. Um,
Yep.
yeah. Um, I don't know, something along as like a big boss man sort of gimmick.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, that's cool. So being a wrestler wasn't the first plan, it was always to be a referee.
yeah. Always wanted to be a ref.
That's cool.
You know, started watching wrestling sort of when I was young, like 12. And yeah, like I said, I love wrestling, but yeah, always just sort of was drawn to the ref thing, and because I knew
Yep.
someone's millhouse,
Yeah.
the Queenstown.
We can guess who that was.
Surprised I haven't
And
dropped the ref.
and we've now been told that it was 2 weeks free trial and at 8.49 a month for the app. I guess
There
that's
we go.
someone who's
I'm glad
subscribed and they'll most likely be Waiheke.
I'm glad someone can answer for me.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So now we're at the kind of Q&A and show of your collection. What from your collection are you wanting to show us?
Sadly, because I'm kind of in a temporary living situation at the moment, so all I've got here is a little portion of my DVDs,
Okay.
a lot of my other stuff, so I can sort of show a little bit of
Yeah.
um, their stuff.
No, that's cool.
Um,
And then you guys, just whoever's watching, throw in some questions. Um,
yeah,
we've got someone who's actually involved in the wrestling business in New Zealand here now. So any questions you want, it can be how much of a dick is someone, or what does this person like to work with, or whatever, whatever. Oh, it
right.
was G1 that done the Millhouse comment apparently.
Gosh, that guy's so lawless, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's even
Uh,
hashtagged it. Look at this. Hashtag lawless.
so having a little flip. Yep. Going to work.
Yep, we're good.
So yeah,
Just might have to do it a little bit slow because it seems
just
to
a
have a
small
bit
portion.
of camera delay.
Yeah. Um, really quite bad.
It
So
is,
yeah, just
isn't
the
it?
SPW at the top.
Yep.
And then obviously my favorites in Royal Rumble.
So Royal Rumble's like your
And
favorite event?
yeah, Royal Rumble and wait until we get down the bottom when the camera
Okay,
catches up. Um, WrestleMania is down the bottom.
nice.
Um, and then just trying to pan slowly.
Yeah, no, you're good, you're good. That's strange. Normally the reversible, like the front camera is the more laggy side.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on an iPad, so could potentially be
Right.
that.
Who knows?
Yeah. And just another small portion, just a few selections, a couple of um TNA.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, and probably my favorite one is the Undertaker um tin set.
That's awesome. That'll be Ruben's favorite thing that he's seen out of your collection.
Um, yeah, so just the DVDs. Oh, and I've got, obviously, if I can come to it, WWE Encyclopedia.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, sort of my figure stuff, rings and stuff like that are in storage at the moment.
That's fun. That's fine.
Plus I've got
The idea is to just, give people a bit of an idea of what you tend to collect. Um,
yeah,
if you can't show everything off, that's fine. Just means that when you can show it off, you take a video, put it up on the group. But no, that's cool.
yeah, and then I've just got another box that's for sale at the moment.
Oh yeah.
DVDs.
Well, if you want to, you can try and show what they are on here and sell them on here if you wish.
I will just grab it.
We have a special appearance from the Bailey dog again. She's come into the room to say hello. Don't sit on this because I have done a very good job keeping your hair off of that shit.
So yeah, that's the box currently sitting for sale.
Oh yeah, nice. You'll definitely have to take a photo
Great.
of it also after and chuck it up on the page with what the prices are and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just
Someone
other
goes
ones over here.
sale? Question marks.
Have to do.
That's cool. So we've got a few questions lined up. Um,
Yep.
who would you want to do a Montreal screw job with? Professor Palmer or Giovanna Lawless?
Sorry, I missed the second half of that. What was that?
Who would you want to do a Montreal screw job with? Professor Palmer or Giovanna Lawless?
Pick the two, the top candidates for that. I'd have to say Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So are you
yeah.
screwing
He
Palmer
gets.
or are you putting Palmer over? Just for clarity.
Oh no, definitely screw Palmer.
Okay, cool. Cool.
I
Um,
could potentially in here because he's the general manager, but just gets on my nerves.
I
That
could
guy.
imagine. It's pissing me off for that 2-3 hours I was there and at the Rumble, let alone every time.
Yeah.
What was it like to be chopped by the Deadly Sins?
It hurt a lot.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess those two guys, JK Moody and Kane Khan, probably have some of the hardest chops. I think so. To have them both at the same time,
yep.
yeah, my chest was bruised for quite a few days afterwards.
And so, for a lot of people, they probably don't know why or how that came about. What's the backstory with that, if you can share?
Yeah, no, I can. So this was at Fight Nights, SPW Fight Nights at the barracks, and for quite some time there's been a "Chop the Ref" chant from the crowd, and this was in Moody's and Khan's last match before they went overseas, and
Yeah.
at the end of it, they decided to act on the crowd chant and chop.
So did you really get a say, or was it just like get in the corner, we're doing it?
They kind of like at the end of the match, Moody was like to me, "Are you keen for a chop?" And then he was like, "It's happening anyway."
I'm gonna ask you for your permission, but whether you say yes or no, it's happening.
I kind of said, I was like, "It's happening either ways," and he's like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah. um, have you ever worked with Rough Guts?
No, no. So he hasn't been back down here since I started as a ref. I did watch him, from the crowd when he came to the show. I can't remember which one, but I haven't worked with him.
Yeah.
Be cool too.
Yeah. Now, the second part of that question was, are the myths of him being rough in real life true? I've heard a few interesting stories.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Um, I hope Palmer isn't watching this. Um, you are a champ taking the chops. Any other questions, guys? One question I've got for you is probably what is your favorite or top three matches that you've refereed and why?
Um, I'm on the spot, but top three. So the first one would be the Progress World Championship match with Kane Khan and Travis Banks.
Okay,
Um,
because that'd be probably the biggest title you've refereed for, right?
uh, yes, I've done the Progress World Championship. I've done the New Japan light heavyweight
Oh
championship.
shit, well then that'll be it.
Um, and also like the MCW championship and then
Yeah,
SPW championship. So um, yeah, the Progress World Championship match. Just the atmosphere
yeah,
of that um, and that despite the fact they just didn't listen to me and crowd brawled for about 20 minutes,
yeah.
there was no way I was going to control them.
And who was that between?
Just
Travis Banks and
and Kane Khan,
King Khan? I thought so.
K9 as he's known now
Yeah,
in UK. Yeah. Um, and just the intensity and that was just it was amazing to sort of you know sort of witness firsthand. Um, then the SPW championship match between Will Power and Kane Khan.
okay.
Um, don't ask me the event off the top of my head. I'd have
Was
to have
that
a
the
look.
rematch after he just cashed in?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And just I guess for that the raw emotion
yeah.
from the again today and stuff like that. Um, and two guys that know each other so well,
Because they
being
started
just
off
amazing.
together, right? Or in that same kind of group that started together.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, the two originals were Will Power and Hammer, and
Yeah,
then in Kane Khan, I think we're sort of that next group, um,
yeah.
and then probably third. I'm missing out so many good matches, but ones that sort of personally would be one from Fight Nights, which was JK Moody and Kane Khan.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that the
once
final match?
again, no, actually, this one was quite a long time ago. I don't
Okay.
even know if there's footage.
Oh
One of the
wow.
early Fight Nights. Sorry,
I said, oh wow, no footage. That's not like them.
no, I think there might be some handycam footage. It's when Fight Nights had just started, and it was literally like a garage show for
Yeah,
people to rock up to.
yeah.
Um, but I think there is handycam footage somewhere. But
Okay.
um, yeah, it was like 40 minutes of just non-stop. These two guys beating the hell out of each other. But
Is this
like at
kind
the
of
end of
when
the
they just split up?
um,
Just for kind of context on what kind of era we're looking at.
um, no, actually, like this was really early days.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I, yeah, which I think sort of led to the formation of them, or that only just sort of started forming as a tag team, and they're still trying to
Right.
you know out. Still wanted to be the big dog, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, but I think once again the emotion from the match, the intensity, and then at the end, like it sort of solidified the Deadly Sins as everyone knew them because they had a newfound respect for each other, like they're
Yeah.
just taking each other, um, and so that was really sort of special to be a part of.
No, that's cool. And there's probably some matches there that you've missed, but the matches that you've said are obviously ones that come to mind straight away in a on the spot scenario. So
Yeah, yeah, just the I think I'm gonna look at like the emotion intensity and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, that's cool. Would you referee at another New Zealand wrestling show apart from SPW?
Yeah, definitely. I've got a few options lined up, and hopefully when we come out of this, I can look at heading up. I'd really love to ref at an IPW show.
Yep.
But also I've got
Well, that bridge
um,
has gotten a lot better now with the whole SPW, IPW working together now.
yeah, we've got the partnership, so I've just got to be able to actually get up to
Yeah.
up there. And I've got a few sort of options to go and work up in Christchurch
Oh,
for like
yeah.
asylum and that. So
That's awesome.
yeah, looking
That's
forward to that
awesome.
when we eventually get.
Yeah. A question from Morgan, I think this was. Have you ever had any
Yep.
awkward moments in the ring? For example, counting the 3 count on someone who wasn't supposed to win.
No, actually, I pride myself on actually I've never botched,
Yeah.
so to speak. Like, um, I guess there's been a couple of awkward times where I might have gotten in the way. One that springs to mind was Jacob Cross, the monster.
Oh, don't get in his way.
Yeah, well, I did get in his way, and that did not go well. um, yeah, so yeah, things like that. But yeah, I've never botched a finish or anything like that,
Oh,
which I'm
that's
quite
good,
proud
I
of.
guess. You put that on your resume. Haven't botched a finish.
Yeah.
What has been the best fan interaction you have shared with a fan?
Um, I don't know. Like, there's just been times where I've talked to fans and or like you said with your T-shirt and that stuff that have actually been approached to sign things.
Yeah,
Um, of unexpected, like I said, because the referee's not a sort of a famous the famous person. It's about the wrestlers.
yeah.
So it's just kind of cool to have fans come up and say, good job, or you done well out there, or
Kind of acknowledge you.
yeah, yeah, because I don't expect it, because
Yeah,
I understand that it's the wrestlers that are
you're
famous,
exactly. It's
but
your job to put the spotlight on them. If the referee's
yeah,
taking the spotlight away from the match, then it doesn't make much sense.
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah, I shouldn't be seen that much, only when I need to be. So hopefully
Yeah,
I do that.
that's cool. Are there any New Zealand wrestlers you're keen to referee that haven't appeared in SPW yet?
Um, so yeah, Rough Guts, Candy Lee, um, Del Knox, the deal Del
Oh yeah,
Knox.
you have to go to
Yeah,
Taranaki Turmoil. Then he doesn't seem to move far from there.
no. So he has been to SPW once before, and I was in the crowd for that one. And from what I've heard, he's just a really amazing person, both inside and outside of the ring. So
Yeah, he's
yeah,
really good in the ring, eh? Like how he randomly just can get the crowd to do what he needs them to do, just like that.
yeah. So it'd be awesome to work with them. They're the ones that sort of spring to the mind first.
That's cool. I think that this is that for the SPW Cup. I think that might have been with the whole JK Kane Khan thing. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because
Or
they've had a
Barrett's
couple of
Cup
matches.
in 2016, 2017.
Yes, actually, I think you're correct. Because
Oh,
Kane Khan was the holder.
okay. And
Yeah.
that was Waiheke with that SPW wisdom for us.
Well, if anyone knows, it'll be Waiheke.
Exactly. Like whenever I need to
He
know
knows.
something about whenever I need to know anything about SPW, I just message Waiheke and ask him the question, and within a day he's
Yeah,
got the answer for me.
he literally knows more than I do, and I'm in SPW.
We all know he's secretly with SPW.
Yeah. All right.
um, if you can remember at all, what was your first wrestling experience?
Is that like as a fan or
Yeah, I think so. We'll go as a fan. It makes
um
sense.
yeah, how I actually and I remember the story quite well, but how I actually got into wrestling is that I was at a garage sale and seen this DVD for wrestling, and it was No Way Out 2005. So
Right.
on the cover, the barbed wire steel cage match with Big Show and JBL,
Oh,
and that
jeez. I remember
on the
that
cover,
DVD.
yeah, on the cover of that DVD was a picture of JBL climbing this cage with barbed wire on it. So I'm like, I should get this, and watched it, and then from then I was hooked.
Yeah.
And so
Off memory, that DVD was like an R13 or something. And I remember being 12, wanting to buy that DVD so badly from the warehouse because it was still in the stores. And my mum wouldn't
yeah,
buy it for me. And obviously the store wouldn't sell it to me. So I went to that store, same store, like every week for that entire year to make sure it was still there. And literally the week
yeah.
that my birthday had just been, I went to go get it and someone brought it that week.
Oh,
It was there every week up to it.
the worst.
It was so bad. Um, Thoughts on Giovanna for the manager? Get rid of Palmer.
I mean, nothing against Joanna, but I don't know if that's much of an improvement, really.
I love it. I love it.
I
Bouncing
think,
off that question, who would you want to be kind of the next general manager? Not saying that Palmer has to go anywhere anytime soon, but if it came to a point where, say, he needed to move out of that area, or he just had a different role within the company, who do you think would be a suitable next?
um, that's a hard one, actually.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah, who I'd like to see is GM. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't. It's
I
hard
think
to.
it would
It's
be an
hard to.
interesting one having Hooligan as like a GM role because he could kind of have that whole Stone Cold kind of feel with it when he was the GM.
Yeah, you've got a good point. I think it would make a good GM as well because there definitely wouldn't be any sort of shenanigans with him as a GM.
Exactly, and
Um,
because he's still an in-ring performer, he'd just straight away punt him in the head or whatever when they get out of
yeah,
line, you know.
it's always interesting to have an in-ring performer as GM, and that's what I'm kind of thinking. I was like, who have we got that would make a good one
Yeah.
there?
Um, who's that? He said Zara for GM.
They could work. They could work.
No one's gonna mess with her.
I definitely wouldn't.
um, any other questions here, guys? A question that I do have is who do you think from SPW right now has a gimmick that would work in say IPW? Because I'm not sure if you've noticed, like the dynamics of the crowd between SPW and IPW are two completely different kind of environments,
Yeah,
and not every gimmick works in both
yeah,
places.
that's true. I don't know. I feel like a lot of our guys would work okay. I've never experienced an IPW crowd firsthand,
Yeah,
um, so I'm not sure what that's sort of like. I think Wine a Fight, everyone sort of relates to that, and like the upbeat. Like as soon as you hear his entrance, you'd sort of
yeah,
um, and loves a good sort of laugh at Cool Guy Sky.
yeah. And it's funny, him and I always forget what his tag partner or not anymore his tag partner, but what his tag partner's name was. Um, what was his name?
Ryder.
That's it, Ryder. I always forget it. It's
Yep.
such a simple name. But yeah, when both those two came up, when they were still a part of detention, they actually worked quite well with the crowd.
Yep. Yeah, the two guys that actually are really good.
Oh, look, he just tuned in too. He's the cool guy himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just tuned in as we were talking about him. His ears must be bleeding.
Must-
um, who's that? Giovanna just said love machine for general manager.
Oh, God. There's no.
So
Let's.
going off the love machine, what was your reaction? Did you actually know that that was happening, or was that kind of just a random thing that happened?
Um, I
Without telling the
yeah,
business too much, obviously.
I didn't actually know.
Yeah,
Um, I thought okay, yeah, but I thought it was just going to be T-Rex.
Right.
Then no, I was kind of actually surprised.
No, that's cool. Um, as for like SPW memorabilia goes or whatever, is there any kind of piece that you've received from a show that's kind of stuck out to you? Like, I don't know, say for example, you got the I don't know, a piece of the ring mat or I don't know, some random piece.
um, Oddly enough, I have a piece of the padding from underneath
Okay.
the ring that I managed to wear. Um, but I guess a more official one is the SPW photo book that we done a few years ago.
Yeah, they
Um,
look really
and,
cool.
yeah, and I've got a lot of the guys to sign it and stuff like that. So that's really cool. But odd piece, would be the padding from underneath
Yeah.
the canvas.
Yeah, my odd pieces, I got a chair from JK Moody's and Jake Sheehan Street Fighter.
Yeah, I saw that. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
like that. That's kind of what started off my New Zealand shelf, so to speak, for wrestling.
yeah, yeah.
Um, any other questions, guys? There's six of you in there. Surely there's some questions. We've got someone that's actually part of the wrestling business in here. Surely there's some questions. I've missed some questions, have I? I don't think so. There's been some more statements than anything.
Yeah.
You can remember. While I have a look for some questions, what was kind of the tipping point for deciding you wanted to be a referee and actually acting on it?
Um, like I said, yeah, I'd always wanted to be a part of wrestling. Once I started and seeing the referees and how they work, I thought it was quite cool, sort of how integral they are, you know, to wrestling. That a ref, wrestlers can't do anything. So I went along to, and I seen a thing advertised on Facebook for SPW, the first ever fight nights they had.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, and so then I went along to that, and then approached the owners of SPW afterwards and said, "Look, I've always wanted to be a ref." And they said, "Well, look, we need a ref," and the rest is history. So
because who was
yeah,
reffing before you came along?
um, it was Cairo was doing a bit of riffing, and then kind of just any other sort of trainee that was able to, you know,
Right, so just
put the
whoever
thing.
wanted to put the shirt on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until
That's
I
cool.
yeah,
Do you have a idol referee that you look up to?
Mike Kyoto all day.
Okay, so you're a bit disappointed recently then?
Yeah, but I kind of expected it too. Like, to be fair, he is getting older. He's been around for a long time. You can
Yeah,
definitely tell by his work in the last few years that it's taken a toll on him. Because I don't think people really. It is quite physically and mentally demanding being a referee.
yeah,
Um, it's still, and then particularly for myself, most of the time being the whole show. Um, the
yeah,
wrestlers come out. Yeah, that is demanding me a wrestler as well. They come out and do their match, and then they're done. One match on
yeah.
the
You
card,
still got to stay out there and do your thing.
yeah. So yeah, it's fairly hard work.
Yeah. I read in his statement from when he decided to make a statement about being fired that he was there for
Yeah,
35 years and 5 years for training.
yeah,
So that's a long time.
yeah. One of the longest serving WWE employees as
Yeah,
well. So
definitely.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Who are some of
And then
your favorite? Oh, Carol.
and then probably next would be Charles Robinson or Little
Oh
Nate.
yes, yep. Little H, yep.
Cool too.
Who are some of your favorite wrestlers to hang out with in between shows?
That I
Without
reckon
breaking
that might be
kayfabe.
it. um,
Gotta protect the
yeah,
business.
because obviously I don't want to hang out with the heels because those guys just suck. But
Exactly.
actually, I have to say, like sort of cool guy Sky, like lately, he's
Yep.
been real cool. Find a fight is awesome to hang out with. Willpower, and when they were still here, JK Moody and Kane Khan.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, all really
That's
cool.
cool.
And it was sort of yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been injured in the ring?
Um, yes. So I had a broken tooth.
Broken tooth?
Um, yeah. And that was actually kind of my fault. So it was the end of the match, and it was Kane Khan.
Of course.
um,
Everything
yeah.
seems to be to do with those two.
So yeah, end of the match, and I went to raise his arm, but it was an arm that had been put in a submission move during the match, so it was really quite sore, and he had the championship belt in the other hand, and obviously brought
Right.
his arm up to grab it, and the belt flew and hit me in the mouth and broke my tooth.
Nice.
Um, Also, not really an injury, but was rather sore for a couple of days because I just about had my jaw broken when Marcus Cole super kicked me in Queenstown.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so
So he got your brush on the chin then,
yeah, yeah, just about broke my jaw. So
and
yeah,
people say
that hurt.
wrestling's fake.
Oh, don't use the F word.
Have you met any WWE superstars or
Travis
wrestlers?
Banks.
Yep.
I've riffed.
Any
I've riffed
any
at
others?
WWE. Apart from the ones sort of in, I wouldn't say met, but like in passing when I went to WWE live in Christchurch.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I haven't. Yeah, that's the only ones I've sort of met.
So you
And
passed him like out on the street or something, did you?
yeah, well, we were there and we seen a few of them sort of walking along, but they were kind of getting ushered along, and yeah, we didn't get to sort of get to stop and speak with them. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then being a fan of the show, just sort of seeing them like that. But yeah, the only one I sort of met in person, had a chance to talk to was Travis Banks, and then ones that obviously Indy Hartwell is
Yeah.
in WWE. Kind of
True.
cool to
Yeah.
have yeah to have wrecked her previously.
Yeah. That's cool. Um, One thing I enjoy about Hayden's riffing is he doesn't oversell the huge bumps like others I have seen.
Well, that's a
Um,
fair point.
do you know who won the SPW quiz a little while ago?
Definitely wasn't me. I imagine they. I think they said that they or David said that they'll be emailing those that got the most correct. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure because that was David Dunn was controlling that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
I know I got third equal on the IPW one.
Oh,
Which was quite fluky because like half those questions I was just like, what? This was like 10, 15 years ago before I even started watching. What are you doing? Give me some relevant questions.
I thought I was so I attempted the SPW quiz just to see what my own knowledge was like, and
Yeah.
actually I've got. I was like, oh, of course I'm gonna know because I'm the ref, so I'm in there for
Yeah.
everything. But um, no, yeah, I didn't do that great.
It's a bit sad, eh?
Well, the earlier stuff that I wasn't too sure of.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of the questions in the IPW one was who was a part or who won the first ever ladder match in IPW? It was like I don't know, the only one I can remember now was Alfred Valentine. So I put him down, but then everyone, as soon as I put it down, everyone's like, "You're so stupid! He won the first table match, not the ladder match." I'm like, "How the fuck am I meant to know? That's like years before my time."
Yeah, yeah,
um, why he no? Matt G1 said you've got Slicks in the business, which is Ring of Honor, which you riffed,
yep, um,
and
yep.
Kellyanne now
So
too, I guess, because she's in Ring of Honor.
I didn't actually ref Slicks. That was our at the Rumble, the double
Oh,
championship match.
that
Yeah,
was
no, that was
Finn.
the other whose name
Finn.
actually escapes me. Finn, that's it. Yeah,
I
yeah. So
forgot
he
he
ref
went
that match.
down. That's right.
Yeah,
That was before he became Saint.
yeah, so I no, that's right. I did ref the triple threat with when he came back to defend the title,
Yeah,
and that was with Marcus Cool, Shane Sinclair, and Slicks. So I did, yeah. So I have ref Slicks. Sorry,
yeah,
just not that
that's
match.
cool. Just not the one that everyone will probably remember, because everyone will remember the
Yeah,
SPW Southern Rumble one a bit more.
yeah, yeah. And that was a big match, being sort of the double championship match.
Yeah. When it happened, I couldn't. I remember talking to the person next to me and saying, "There's no way that the SPW title is leaving SPW. Like, it's got to end in like a double count out or something, so that both champions keep their title."
Unfortunately, we lost it for a little bit there, but hey, we
What
got it
was your
back.
reaction to that when SPW kind of lost their title?
Um, yeah, it was almost a little bit of a feeling of emptiness. Like, okay, well, what's our pinnacle now? And I'm like, and who's going to be able to go and get it back for us?
Yeah,
Um, so kind of glad, glad that it got back on, around a New Zealand wrestler's waist,
yeah.
even
Um,
if it's dirty tactics. But hey,
hey, whatever you got to do to get it back home, right?
yeah, yeah.
What international wrestling show would you like to go to? I guess we'll do this one as a fan.
Um, yeah. I mean, I guess like anyone would love to. I'd love to go to WrestleMania. Um,
Definitely recommend
that'd
it.
be yeah. And that, or I'd love to go to a New Japan show.
Okay. Did you go to the one that was in New Zealand?
No, unfortunately, I couldn't.
Ah, damn. That one was pretty good. That was
Yeah,
my first taste of New Japan. I
yeah.
didn't even really know what New Japan was before then, if I'm being honest.
All right. Yeah, yeah.
And same question, but as a referee.
Probably the same thing again.
Yeah?
Like, ultimately, I'd love to referee in WWE, but failing that, I think it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to sort of ref in Progress or New Japan. Um,
Yep.
yeah, the main ones.
That's cool. Do you keep up with other New Zealand wrestling promotions? That one's from Waiheke.
I try. Um, yeah, I do try, but like I said, time is not on my side a lot of the time. So I barely even watch PW stuff, but I do try and just sort of, even if I just pick out one match or a couple of matches from a show,
Yeah,
I do keep up on Facebook and stuff like that with a lot of
yeah.
the promotions.
Yeah,
So
so like for me personally, I find it hard to try and find the content of the match itself. I normally just get to see the quick results at the end of the show that they always put up.
yeah,
Um, what do you think when Ryder rips his shorts?
I think you'd be referring to the gold shorts he wore once that ripped
Yeah, I think we
about.
need some context because I have no clue what this is even about.
Okay, so it was a match where a detention match, and Ryder had new like gold shorts, kind of satiny type shorts.
Okay,
That he decided.
was this when he was kind of turning into cool guy?
No, this is Ryder.
Oh, the
Yeah,
carry on.
yeah. Um, and they ripped literally like 2 minutes into the match, and so he wrestled a whole match with these ripped shorts. Um, so yeah, thankfully he had his gold trunks on underneath, but
Yeah,
yeah, wasn't a
that would
pretty
have been a
sight.
bit embarrassing otherwise. Straight
Yeah,
to the
could
crack,
have been.
depending on where it was.
But surprisingly, yeah, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of butt crack, um, like Taylor Adams and Will Power, both bearing their bottoms to Queenstown, and
Yeah.
obviously Juicy, uh, Juicy, yeah, Gino Gambino, um,
Yeah.
with his
Oh
signature.
my God.
Yeah,
He gets paid to show
not
his
a pretty.
ass.
Yeah, I can tell you, it's not a pretty sight.
Oh, I've seen it. Don't worry. I was there. Um, do you like the new detention or the old detention?
Um,
And
once
I'm going to give you a
again, it could
cop
be.
out answer here, or both.
I think they both have, as with any tag team or faction or anything like that, they have their strengths and weaknesses. Um, I definitely think the team of Ryder and Cool Guy Sky worked better because they knew each other better. They'd
Yeah,
gone to school together and stuff like that. So, um, and yeah, I can already see a few cracks starting to show with Ryder and Ryder. So yeah, it could be an interesting one.
okay. Um, what is your favorite wrestling related item that you own? Now, obviously, you probably can't show us because I imagine it would be in your storage. But yeah,
Yeah,
what
no,
is your
it's
favorite?
yeah, probably have to actually say yeah, it's the SPW photo book um that I've got.
Yeah,
Yeah, that or my referee shirt.
yeah. So you get to keep that referee shirt. That's definitely yours.
Yeah, no, that is yeah, that is mine. Being the sort of the only full time referee in SPW, apart from my new trainee, I suppose you'd call him, starting, and that's Kaifer. But yeah, so I always have my shirt
That's awesome.
and my gear. Yep. So I'm always ready
Um,
to ref.
awesome. So if New Zealand gets a 24/7 title, you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Always got my ref shirt.
Waiheke said, I can't believe I caught that moment for Y stories. And that
Which
was
one was that?
the ripping of the pants.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um, would you ever retaliate taking Gino Gambino's stink face if you were booked to take that spot?
Oh, that's a yeah. I don't know. Would anyone willingly take a stink face? I think I'd probably have to pass on that one.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if
Yeah,
they
having
were giving me like $1,000 cash, I'd definitely consider it. But that'd be like
oh
my
yeah,
minimum. That'd be my bottom dollar to get me to do it.
yeah, yeah,
Like, I'd
yeah.
obviously
I
try
agree.
higher.
Having already seen it up close and personal, yeah, I'd have to say I wouldn't be keen.
Don't blame you. Unfortunately, I've seen it twice now. He done it at IPW as well when he came.
Uh,
And both times were right in my freaking direction. It's like he knows I'm there.
yeah.
Um, is SPW looking for any more referees, and what kind of training does one need to be for a referee in SPW? And I'm also going to add on to the end of that question, who do we contact?
Okay. So the first part, looking for any rule referees. I guess we always kind of are. Like at the moment, there's two of us. Like I said, there's
Yeah,
myself and there's Kaifa who's just sort of starting out.
yeah,
But I mean, there's always have more. To sort of get some experience and have people to step in if either of us couldn't do it or something like that.
yeah,
In terms of training, it's just kind of being a part of the wrestling training. So things like doing cardio training and stuff like that, and then getting onto shows and getting exposure and sort of riffing training matches and stuff like that to get some good experience. Because I guess the biggest thing with the referee is experience, and you
yeah.
can't teach experience.
No,
You only learn by doing it. But I kind of do riffing classes where I just teach you about positioning, the rules
yeah.
and stuff like that. And what was the last part? Sorry, what was your?
Who do you contact to get
Oh,
involved?
yeah. If you, yeah, I'd say probably the best way would to be go through Facebook and go onto the SPW page, not the fan page, but just the SPW, um, you know, page on Facebook and message them.
Yeah.
Would be the
And I think that'd be the same for wherever in New Zealand you are with any promotion. I know speaking for IPW here, they're very responsive on their Facebook page.
yeah.
I'd say most of the companies in New Zealand would be very responsive.
Yeah, it seems to be the easiest way and the most way to get in touch with any promotion is to go through their page and
If for
yeah,
whatever reason you're not following the page, that's what you need to search up if you want to become a referee or even a wrestler.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And then in fact you come along to a show and just you know approach one of the guys afterwards. It's always a way to do it as well because that's what I
yeah,
done and got. Yep.
yeah. So funny story. Do you know Curtis Castlewood?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yep.
So whenever I would go to a show, I used to like just go talk to him afterwards, and every single time the conversation would end with, "Oh, I want you to become a wrestler, or I want you to become a referee. You need to go talk to that guy over there." And it's like I don't want to do that though. Like I'm enjoying just being a fan. But like yeah, every time our conversations would just end with, "Over there is where you go to become a wrestler, or over there's who you got to go talk to become a referee." And it's like I
Yeah.
appreciate that, but that's not me. Have you ever wanted to be a heel referee?
No, no,
No,
no.
not you.
I'm passionate about refereeing and definitely think a good referee should call it down the middle. Yeah, so I'm very much. I don't know if people would know me more as a probably a bit of a stricter referee, but yeah, I'm definitely by the book.
Yep. Um, which SPW has or had your favorite theme song? And have you ever sung or hummed their theme song when they are coming to the ring?
Um, I like a lot of them. I actually have a playlist of particularly the old music when we had, we're able to use licensed
Whatever you
songs.
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and so yeah, I've got a playlist of all the old tunes. Pantera, which is T Rex's. Marcus Cool's one. Um, Kane Khan and J.K. Moody. Really love
Yeah. I was
Home's
so
current music.
disappointed when Willpower couldn't come out to his Kanye West song at Southern Rumble. That place would have
Another,
gone off.
yeah. Um, so yeah, definitely the older music. Some of the newer stuff, like it's catchy. Like Wana's Wana fights, and stuff like that. So yeah,
That's
I
cool.
guess I don't say I'm in the ring because I'm just focused on what I have to do.
Yeah. Is there ever a moment where you've kind of like not so much like blacked out as in fainted, but like blacked out and like kind of gone out of the moment?
Yeah, there's been a few times, and there's been a few times where um how would I put it? Like sort of the fan in me came out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm actually standing around the ring with this person or riffing them.
Yeah.
And sort of fanned out a bit, but and there's times as well, like being in the whole show, like getting tired and stuff like that. You kind of zone out a little bit, and you go, oh, actually, I mean to be riffing
Yeah.
this match.
I need to get over there.
Yeah.
I need to start doing the 5 count.
Yeah. So hey, not everyone's perfect.
Yeah. Um, why Hickey says I kind of wish that they would play wrestlers' older songs for the live crowd and dub over the theme songs like New Japan English does with the audience, not at the live event.
That's a good point. Um,
Yeah,
I'll pass that feedback on.
yeah, because like even for like Hooligan's song, his song that he had before all the I don't know what you want to call it, was so catchy. And like the crowd would literally stand there and go, na 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 na. And it's like then
I
he
mean,
came out and people were trying to do it and they're like, no, it doesn't work.
um, I guess like because the entrance song is such a massive part of their character as well, isn't it? And you get to know
Yes.
um, their songs. So yeah, there's definitely those ones you can sing along to.
Yeah.
Like that's a prime example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he still uses that one when he comes to IPW.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he comes out to that, everyone's just like, "Oh my god, it's that song."
Oh, right. So I listen to it on repeat occasionally.
Yeah, well, you need to hype yourself up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Hooligan also had his theme song for PWA Coliseum. I don't know as well.
When he went over to yeah, went over to Australia, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I just don't know how to pronounce that word Coliseum. I don't know. It's on your screen. You should be able to see
Oh,
that.
PWA Coliseum.
I was right. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, yeah. I
Huh,
think it might have been
interesting.
mis.
I don't know. Um, shit, there was a question I had, but it's gone now. I don't know, it's gone. Any other questions for anybody else? Is there kind of like a funny story that you can share from like the backstage?
Um,
Obviously, without killing the business or ruining your reputation within the business. Can't
um,
associate you with the heels backstage trying to give you money for the match.
there's been a few that tried. Palmer. Um, yeah. I don't know. There's nothing specific. Without sort of giving away too much, but what I will um sort of say is that yeah, they're fun to sort of like go out and have a few drinks with, like after a show. And there's been
Yeah,
some interesting things that have occurred.
I could imagine. Because
Yeah,
all the adrenaline be pumping through their body from that crowd and that match. So they just
yeah,
feel invincible.
yeah, no, pretty rowdy bunch.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
imagine. Um, Fuck, it's gone again. It was there. Oh, it's gone again. Um,
Didn't have in there.
any any other questions from the guys that are watching? Any at all? Um, this isn't the question I had, but um, is there who do you think is going to be kind of the next breakout star from SPW?
Um, I think there's a few guys there that are probably just right on the brink and just need the right opportunities. I think Wanna Fight is definitely right on the brink, and I mean um, he's holding the SPW briefcase at the moment, the Fight for Gold contract. So he's got a really good chance. I think Cool Guy Sky is right on the verge as well, and I think just seeing his stuff now, I think Cutter could potentially grow into something big as well. Um,
Okay.
you know, up to the next level of your already well established guys like Willpower and Hammer and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I think next the next wave or next generation, if you want to call it.
Yep. That's cool. If New Zealand is still in lockdown at the same time as the Southern Rumble is meant to be, would it move if SPW couldn't have a crowd?
That one I couldn't answer for you. Yeah,
Obviously, you can't give an official statement, but like in your opinion, I guess.
I feel like that probably I feel like it would just be moved to a date where we're able to have a crowd. I think
Yeah,
that's but yeah, I'm not sure.
I agree. For that, I mean, because that's kind of like the WrestleMania, I guess, of SPW. You couldn't really have that
Yeah,
with no crowd.
yeah, because I have to say, watching WrestleMania just being like, yeah, it was good with what they had, but it's just not the same crowd, is it?
Yeah, no, for sure. What's your favorite match you've ever watched as a fan?
Um,
And that can be live or on TV.
I think live. I mean, there's so many sort of big matches in WWE and stuff, isn't there? But I think one that probably sticks out for me that had excitement and stuff like that was Marcus Cool versus Del Knox. That's what I said before. I'd love to ref Del Knox. Just that match was so good.
Yeah,
So that's probably one of the better ones that I've actually seen live and for New Zealand wrestling.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-show meals before a big show?
I actually generally don't eat before a show. Yeah, like I'll just sort of like on a show day, like the day of a show, I'll generally just sort of snack a little bit.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, during the day because otherwise, if I eat a big meal, it just doesn't go well. Trying to ref, so
yeah,
yeah.
I could imagine. What about rituals? Do you have any like pre-show ritual?
Um,
What the fuck?
oh, yeah, not really. Like I just kind of before I go out, at the start of the show, I just go into gorilla position. Um, I don't know if anyone outside of that knows like gorilla position is just the position just behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Before you come out, they go there about 10 minutes before they start when they start to show promo videos and stuff like that, and just sort of get in the zone. I might let her sort of like pace a bit and stuff like that, and just sort of limber up. So that's I guess what I do before every show. Yeah.
cool. Um, if you collect figures, what kind of figures do you collect, and where do you purchase yours?
Um, I'm pretty basic in terms of figures. Um, like I kind of just because like Invercargill's pretty bad for not having a lot.
I could imagine.
So yeah, our option is Toy World or the warehouse.
Yeah,
So it's kind of just what they buy. Sort of like whether it's elites or basics.
yeah,
And then I've got um, a couple of rings and stuff, but a lot of that's older. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. And because the questions are kind of slowing down a little now, I'll leave you with one final question, which would
Yep.
be if you could book kind of like a super show for New Zealand with five
Yep.
matches, what would they be?
And I could use anyone.
Anybody that is currently wrestling. You can use that includes people that are overseas, but they have to be New Zealanders.
All right. I have to be New Zealanders. Okay.
And you can either you can do the
Okay.
matches in order, or you can just go, this is the main event, this is the second match, this is the third match.
I think, and a lot of these are already matches that have happened as well. But I think would make a great show would be Jake Moody versus Kane Khan.
Okay.
My,
Before we go any further, real quick, you've also got to say who would referee that match. It can be all
oh,
you, or you can include other referees from New Zealand.
depends. I mean, like I'm pretty biased, and I'd probably like to have that match. Love working
Yep,
with those guys. Um, Probably have Marcus Cool versus Del Knox, and I'd kind
yep,
of like to do that match. Um, I'd um, actually this is gonna yeah, I'd really love to see Jacob Cross versus Shane Sinclair. I don't know why, but I
okay,
just feel like that would be because they're both pretty you know pretty strong guys and pretty brutal guys. So I don't know
yeah.
why that would be cool to see.
Add
Um,
rough guts into that, and then you get to ref him too.
True, could be a triple threat. What else we got? What's that? Three. I'm trying to think of other ones now.
And are these just normal matches? No stipulations to them?
Oh, I mean, any match with Jacob Cross has got to be a hardcore match.
Okay,
Um, yeah, I've riffed a hardcore match with him and Marcus Cool in Queenstown, and that match was brutal, very, very
Yeah,
brutal.
I could imagine.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that would be cool to have a like a hardcore match or a street fight style match. Um, who else do we have?
Any New Zealanders, whether they're currently in New Zealand, overseas, could be from Maniacs, can be from Asylum, IPW, wherever.
Yeah, actually, I think Willpower versus Travis Banks. I'd like to
Okay.
actually kind of see that one. Yeah, see how
Yeah.
that played out. I think they've both got a very like never give up attitude.
Yeah.
I think we've seen time again from both of them, particularly Willpower. Um, yeah, so that would be another cool match, I think. Uh, and
Final match on the card.
what else did I don't know. I think I'd actually like to see like a sort of inter-promotional battle royal and
Okay.
have yeah, and just have sort of maybe 3 and 4 guys from each promotion sort of representing the promotion and see who actually
Okay.
came out on top. Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Okay. That'd be interesting. The only thing
Yeah,
I always see being an issue with like those interpromotional matches. Now I know this is obviously fantasy booking this one, but whenever they go down, it always comes down to politics. So it's like they're never gonna
true.
let like they never ever will let like I'm not saying that like Asylum is a small promotion, but they'll never let like an Asylum guy go over an IPW or an SPW guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I guess
Um,
that's a fair point.
because they're like the mammoths of New Zealand wrestling.
Yeah,
Um,
a
but yeah,
couple
obviously for
in
fantasy booking, it's a great idea.
yeah. I guess you could
Okay,
have
so
like tiers of promotions and yeah,
I
so that
think
see who
that
would come
something
out on.
like the AEW Casino Battle Royale would work, where it's like how many companies do we have in New Zealand? Like 12 people? 12 companies? No, not that many. 10? 8?
Yeah, could be 8 or 9. I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Here's how we
Yeah,
find out. We go to Sean's Wrestling New Zealand page and look at his cover photo.
very good point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that everybody? Yeah. Oh, nine because of Hayden's now as well. So there's 9 promotions.
Yeah.
And so you could have like on the ace card, one person from each of those 9 promotions come out to the ring like they did at the Casino Battle Royale. Have you seen that match?
No, but now I need to watch this.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, they had it because obviously it was in Vegas, and the whole thing was kind of seen themed around Vegas. So their pre-show battle royale match was a casino battle royale, and it was like 5-minute intervals, I think. And
Yeah,
so you had your ace card, your diamond card, your spades card, and your clubs card, and then you had
yeah,
your I don't know whatever the last one was. I can't remember what it was, but we'll call it the golden goose card. And that was basically the person that was guaranteed to come in last. And so
yeah,
before the show, people would draw which suit of card they're coming in on. And so when the hearts card came out, all the people who drew a hearts card had to come out to the ring. So it'd be 9 people from one person from each company, for example, for this scenario.
yeah,
Um, but then for that match, I think it was like 5 people came out. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, I don't know. But it played out really well.
yeah. That sounds
Definitely
good.
recommend looking at it.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds like a cool card. Who was this? This was Matt Giovanna. I read level 2 can have events up to 100 people, so they could do a show with a small crowd and live stream it.
I guess potentially. They'd probably do that with other shows, but like you said, with the Rumble, that's like our WrestleMania. Because so I think they'd want to
Yeah,
keep that for
yeah.
when we could really
'Cause-
crowd.
I remember when you guys had B and Will there, message the page and ask if they were going to live stream it so that I could watch it from home. And they were like, "Nah, this is like our big event. We have to make sure that it looks right production wise. So we'll
Yeah,
be editing it as fast as we can and then put it up," which makes sense. Like it's their big
yeah,
show. Got to make it look good.
yeah. So you definitely do that with smaller shows and stuff.
Yeah. A few questions have come through while you were doing your booking, as I kind of knew they would. So we'll finish off on these ones, eh?
Yeah.
Do you think Wanna Fight cashing in on Jamie Tangata SE and winning at a SPW show would go down well?
That's an interesting one and one a scenario I'd never really thought of. But I don't think I'm fairly sure the Fight for Gold contract is purely for the SPW championship, if I remember rightly. So I don't think he'd be
Legalities.
able to. Yeah, I don't think the SPW Fight for Gold contract could be cashed in the IPW championship.
You're true because also
If
IPW has something similar. I can't remember what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's
So
called now, but they have
yeah,
something similar.
and I was the ref when he tried to cash. I'm pretty sure I'd have to check on the contract itself to see, but I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
contract's
Just
just
wait
for
a minute. Let me have a look at the contract. Oh shit, there's nothing on it. It's just paper.
yeah. No, pretty sure the Fight for Gold contract is just for the SPW championship. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you
unless
think that one day they will unify the SPW and IPW heavyweight championships?
um, I don't know. I don't know.
Bouncing off that
n-
question, do you think it would be a good idea?
um, no, I don't think so. I think too because you know, even though New Zealand's small, but geographically we're quite far apart.
Yeah,
And so like traveling to and from to defend, I think it's good to have a title that we can have down here, and it's
yeah,
good to have a title that's there.
yes,
And then
definitely.
when we come to, you know, that means more title matches as well.
Yeah, and the thing the reason why I highly disagree with it is you quite often see that IPW and SPW shows are on the same night.
Yeah, so there's been a few lately that sort of have, and it's made it a bit more difficult.
So then, yeah, it would be like, okay, SPW's got the title. How are we going to get it back up here? You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
I think there should definitely be like, for example, at battle lines or rival turf, it should be always like SPW champ versus New Zealand heavyweight champ. Um,
yeah.
so that you've always got that kind of who's the better shows champion. But I don't think that it should ever unify.
No, and I think there's different, there's different prestige that sits behind each title. I think as well. Um, so to unify, you wouldn't want to take away or
Exactly.
from it. Yeah,
Exactly. Well, then it would be because I don't know what they'd call it, but say for example they went with the IPW SPW title. That's a lame name for starters.
yeah,
And two, then it's all of a sudden like, well, J.K. Moody's held the IPW title. No, he hasn't, but a technicality says he has. You know,
yeah,
and it's like now they're saying that the likes of the great Khali has been a WWE champion because he's held the World Heavyweight Championship and they've been unified.
yeah.
But it just doesn't feel right.
No, exactly. I think it would just get too messy, kind of thing.
Yeah. Sorry, Waiheke. I know it's the SPW New Zealand Heavyweight Championship, but I didn't want to have to say the SPW New Zealand Heavyweight Championship and the IPW New Zealand Heavyweight Championship. That's a lot of words.
On that though, I want to raise this because the SPW championship has been defended in Australia. So does that make it a world championship?
No, it would make it a Commonwealth Championship.
Okay, true.
If it had been defended, if it got defended in like America or even like Fiji,
Yeah,
some other country that isn't New Zealand or Australia, then
true.
I
And not
could.
not, not our train.
I'd definitely class it as the World Championship of New Zealand. But
Yeah,
I think at the moment it's just the Commonwealth. But No, it's been cool having you on here for a chat, and thank you for not trolling me for once. I highly appreciate that.
I try my best.
Um, is there anything you want to leave us on? It could be a plug, it can be I'm looking for this, it can be whatever you want.
Um, no, nothing at the moment. I think I've covered off everything. I just can't wait to once it's over, get back in and have all the fans back at the shows and you guys watching and get back into what I love doing. So yeah.
That's cool. And how can people get involved with SPW, whether that's as a fan or as a talent? Just so we've got that as the final thing.
Yeah, like we said, we've got SPW on demand, the app, um, also Facebook, and I think SPW is on Twitter as well. And yeah, like come along. If you come along to shows, always approach us and talk to us.
That's cool. Just a few messages from the guys. Thanks, guys. I appreciate seeing you again, Hayden. Thank you for
Cool.
showing professionalism and being a great example for aspiring referees. And can't wait to see you in the ring again. To you, Legend Bro.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Hayden.
All right.